Hi, have you ever thought about where debt comes from? A lot of times people are in debt and they don't know why. They don't know how they got there. They don't know what was going on with them, but they're in debt and they keep looking at it and then they get afraid of it. Well, I'm Dr. Bacer J Baker, who is the brain or the head doctor, and we're here to talk about it. Do you realize that debt starts in your mind? It just like anything else. It starts in the mind. Everything starts there. It starts in the brain. It starts to work through there. It's a mentality that people get. You start to look at things and you start to decide that, well, here it is. I want this and I want this and I want this. You have all of these things that you want. And then all of your wants, desires, and you see other people with things. And because you have not come to become the person that you need to become in order to be able to handle the things that you want, you prematurely go out and you purchase things. Why do you do that? You do that because you are not secure in who it is that you are. Number one, you do it so that you can be like everyone else. I believe that one of the things that causes people to get into debt and to be owing other people, the Bible says, owe no one anything other than to love them. Does that mean have no credit cards? Does that mean have no credit? Does that mean no, 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 no? It does not mean that. What it means is this: don't get in over your head or your abilities. You see, what happens is this: debt is where a person gets something, owes someone, gets into a situation and they don't see a way out. Before I purchase things, before I use my credit card, before I buy a property, before I do any of those things, I actually think about it. Debt is getting into a place where you have not thought it through. You have not thought about the ingress, the egress. How am I going to get out of this? Or how am I going to use this for my good? Recently I did something with debt. And when I did this, I knew exactly what it was that I was going to use it for, but I also knew how it was going to pay me dividends. I did not use debt just to buy things, just to buy purses, just to buy a car, just to buy a house, just to buy something that was not going to increase me. Money is always for an investment. Your money and all of those things, they're spiritual, they're energy, they come through the mind. Everything is with your imagination. Everything was created with imagination. One of my coaches said this. He says when he decided that he was never going to fly commercial again, he was never going to fly with American or this airline or this airline or this airline again. And then he called because of the way that they had lost his luggage. They did all of these other kinds of things. And he calls them the inconvenience or whatever it is. At any rate, when he decided that he wanted to he wanted to fly private. What happened was this: he called a friend of his and said that he needed the ticket. He needed to be able to go from one place to the other. Well, he thought it was only going to cost about $35,000, and it ended up costing about $65,000. Well, he did something that was unique. He did something that I now do in my life. He says, how am I going to make an offer? How am I going to create the money to be able to pay for this? Even though he had the money in his bank account, but he says, I want to create something in order to be able to pay for this, because this is a way of practicing also. So what he did, he created an offer that didn't just bring him the $65,000 that he was going to utilize for that, but it ended up bringing him over $1 million and some dollars. Why is that? Because he created an idea. Debt only comes when you don't use your creative mind. The Bible says something. Everything I do from the Bible. I have the Optimize Your Brain Challenge and all of these different kinds of things. And it is to get you out of the rut of thinking the way that the world thinks, thinking the natural way. The Bible says this. It says something very interesting in the book of Romans. It says, do not be conformed. In other words, do not do things that the way that the natural world always does those. I've given you a brain. I've given you the ability. I've given you a spirit mind, spirit brain, so that you can imagine. I created you in my image and after my likeness, which means I created you in a way. This is what God is saying. He created us in a way that we can use our imagination to make anything that it is that we have a need for or a desire for. All right. He didn't say that he would just, he said he already fulfills all of your needs. He says that in the book of Matthew and in the book of Philippians in the Bible. He says, I've already supplied your needs. He says, but the things that you want, he says, I'm the shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd and I shall not want. The wants that he gives you, the wants that are happening for you, you have the ability in your imagination to find something that is going to help somebody else, pleasing God and serving other people, that is going to help someone else that's valuable enough for them, for you to have an idea, for you to have a solution to whatever it is that they are going through, so that they desire that they will go ahead and they will give you money. They will pay you. All right. What happens is that you are brilliant no matter what it is that you think about yourself. So you have to start to think of yourself as a creative a created being that has creative powers. And what it is this: God says, I have created you in my image and after my likeness, which means I have created you so that you do things the way that I do them. God had us even in his mind before he was in our minds. In other words, I was in God's mind before he came into mine. Before I was even put into this earth, I was already in his mind. And with his mind, he gave me things that I could do. So he gave me the ability to create just like he did. So that means that I have the ability to imagine things. I have the ability to see problems and to solve them. If you will become a problem solver, you will never want for money. You will never have a money problem. You don't have a money problem. What you have, and you don't really have a debt problem, except you're thinking about yourself. The Bible says, don't lay up all of these things for yourself to be able to spend all of these things on yourself. But if you will think of others, if you will think about others and their problems, then you will become an answer for them and they will desire to pay you. And so, therefore, then you will be able to pay for the things that you desire to have. It's a principle. The Bible says, give and it will be given unto you. Give what? Give information, give answers, give solutions, give help, give all of these things. You have it within your grasp. If you will do a thing that most people never do, which is take the time to think about other people. My time is spent thinking about other people and their problems. So therefore, I have solutions for other people and their problems. And what do? They pay me for the solution. They think that my solution is more valuable than the money that they have in their pocket. So therefore, they pay me. This is the way it is. You think that the only way that you're going to be able to get what it is work for someone, to be able to do the things for somebody else, and then they're going to pay you. That's limited money. That's limited. You limiting yourselves. You will not be able to ever come out of debt, because why? You will constantly say, you will constantly think that you have to go to work, that you have to put in the time, that you have to do these things. God said this is so interesting. He says, no, owe no one anything other than to love them. That is a powerful statement. If I love people to the degree that I am going to help to solve their problems, that I am going to be an answer, that I'm going to have answers for them, that I love them that much, then they are going to release the money. You will never be broke another day in your life when you truly learn to love people, learn and serve people. When you love and serve people, when you find out who it is that you were sent to, why it is that you were sent to them, the problems that you were put in this earth to solve, the problems that you were put in this earth to solve. A mentor of mine many years ago, Mike Murdoch, he says, the bigger the problem, the bigger the payments. He says, the bigger the problems that you solve, the more that people want to pay you. You know, the iPhone, all of these different telephones, the internet, all of these things that we are utilizing, these things solve the problem. And look at the money we throw after them. Many people, especially people that call themselves Christians or religious people and all of that, they think that this piety, being broke and poor, that this is something that is supposed to be great, that money, it doesn't matter, that none of these things matter. Yes, it does. That's why you're in debt, because here it is, you're trying to live a life that you don't even agree with. You want these things and you want to give them to yourself rather than to letting your gifts make room for you, so that as your gift, the gift that you have in you for someone else, and that someone else takes that gift and they say, this is worth something. This is gold to me. This is fire for me. This opened up the door for me. This opens up all of these avenues for me. How much do I owe you? Can I pay you to teach me? Can I pay you to train me? Can I pay you with this? And when you honestly have a love and a desire for people, you can't help but come out of self. See, debt is something because of selfish people. People are in debt because of selfishness. People are not in debt because of generosity. They're in debt because of selfishness. I want to buy this for myself. I need this for myself. I need this for myself. Oh, well, it's all about my children. It's all about this. No, it's not. It's about yourself. It's about what it is that you want and how it is that you want to look. So what I'm saying to you is this: if you will take the time and if you will take the tools, these simple little tools that I've given you today, if you will take these simple little tools and say, okay, I love people, I love God, so I'm going to show it forth because I love people. I love people enough. And I love this group of people because I know this is the group of people that I was sent to. I love these people enough to fixate on their problem so that I can solve their problem. And then I can present it to them in a manner that they can receive it. Then what it is this: they will count this more valuable than the money and the cost that they see it, because they will see, wow, you opened up my life. You freed me so that now I can live. I can live life abundantly. There are wealthy people, rich people, people with money, people with high paying jobs, all of these things that are in misery, that are stuck in places that they could really get out of. And maybe you are the one that has the answer. Maybe you are the answer to their problem. But the thing is that you are so worried about the debt. It may be a hair thing. It may be a family situation. It may be any of those things. It may be clothes. And you have so many talents, people out there. You have so many things that are locked up on the inside of you. And the moment that you stop spending all of your time, see, this is where the spending is, the spending all of your time thinking about yourself and what you don't have, and then open up your heart so that you can start to think about other people and what it is that they need, what it is that you can answer for them, how it is that you can help. In other words, love the Lord your God with all of your heart, all of your mind, all of your soul, and all of your strength. And then love your neighbor as yourself. Because when you truly love yourself, then you can love your neighbor. And then what happens is this: you can love them enough to think about their problem. You see, the thing is that selfishness, poor people people with no desire to do anything other than just to feed themselves and to buy things just for themselves and to see about themselves and themselves and themselves, are the poorest people or the brokest people or the people that are in debt. But the Bible says, "Oh, no man anything other than to love them." And how can you show your love except, I mean, what better way? What better way can you show your love than to help people to solve the problem that they're in, to release them from their bondage, to release them from the places that they're in, and to help to make their life better? This is Dr. Bacer J. Baker, and known as the head doctor, the brain doctor, the optimize your brain doctor. And I'll see you next time when we're here talking about you, because you're the one that matters.